Whether we're playing as an Inkling or an Octoling, or playing with Agents 3, 4, and 8, I think it's safe to say that we're always battling some type of crazy contraption. There are so many great Splatoon boss fights and some not so great ones, but we couldn't pass up the opportunity to come back and revisit some of these boss battles. So today we're not only looking at Splatoon 1 and not only looking at Splatoon 2, but looking at everything, even the Octo Expansion, to collect all the bosses from the Splatoon franchise into one giant list. Today we have 17 different bosses where we will rank every single one from highest to lowest. Now, of course, like always, before we begin, leave a comment down below telling me who do you think is going to win this list, what are your favorite Splatoon bosses, and see if they match up with mine before you continue watching. Also, feel free to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you guys so much, it helps out a lot. So without further ado, let's get into our list of Splatoon bosses. Coming in at number 17, we have the dreaded Octonozzle. So this thing wasn't that fun. It was the second boss in Splatoon, and it didn't feel like the second boss. It felt like a step back from where we were going. I didn't really like this thing at all. It's a metal pillar in the middle of the room, and it shoots out these purple goo balls, and I mean, you literally have to stand still to get hit by these things. It's almost not even a boss fight. You're barely moving, and all you have to do is shoot these little pucker things that stick out of the tentacle holes in the side of the machine. And once you do that, the whole thing will collapse, and you'll paint up the side and swim up and shoot the tentacle on top. It's a rinse and repeat, and it doesn't really get harder at all, just more time spent shooting the suckers from the tentacles. Number 16, the mighty Octo Stomp. We'll see this thing a lot in this list, but this one was the very first appearance and it was very basic. It's this giant cube with weird legs, and it runs around trying to crush you. Well, once it falls over, you paint up its side and shoot the tentacle on top of its head. Well, the thing is here, each phase, it changes the way the side of the cube is moved. So sometimes pieces will fall off, pieces will move, and you have to spray those specific sides in order to climb up to the top. And it is kind of difficult to make sure you get the last phase. It could be your first couple times around. Nothing too crazy, but it was definitely better than the Octonozzle. Number 15, Revenge of the Octo Samurai. Now, this one gets a bad rep simply because it is just terribly fought. You play Octo Samurai in this giant baller from the Octo Expansion, and that's just the thing. You fight him with a baller, and it's just so weird because it's almost really hard to die. I mean, the only way you could die is if he knocks you off the stage, which is very rare, especially considering the fact that there's cages along the outside of the arena, and to me, it just felt like a slow-paced version of the original fight. Number 14, Rampaging Octo World. This thing is just like a giant robotic clam that spins around the outside of the stage, and it looks for an attack window, and when it jumps off the rail and starts trying to attack you, you have to paint the floor in order to get it stuck in your own ink. When doing so, the tentacle will pop out, and then you shoot the tentacle, and it just rinses and repeats. It's nothing crazy, but it is a different way of approach to stop your enemy by painting the floor and getting them stuck in your ink for once. Number 13, Octo Oven, and it's just that, a giant oven full of octo bread, I guess you could say. So it's a giant oven, and it shoots out these pieces of bread, and what you have to do is paint the sides of the bread when it shoots out for a long time, and climb up the contraption and shoot the top. It's kind of a Splatoon basic at this point, you know, spray the sides and climb up. But it is kind of fun compared to the rest because it does shoot out other things. There's giant spray walls that'll come and try to swipe you up. There's giant pillars that like from a car wash, but instead it's full of paint, and there's just lots of obstacles to dodge around when you're trying to get up this thing, and it's a little bit better than the rest. Number 12, Neo Octo Stomp. Yes, the Octo Stomp is back, but this time it has a belt buckle. No, but for real, you have to shoot this buckle off of it in phases 2 and 3, and it opens up and it takes off this kind of like jacket where you can't spray and ink. So once you get the jacket off, then you can spray along its sides and get to the top. This adds a level of depth that we really didn't see before. And then the third phase gives him 3 whole faces, which makes his range of attacks incredibly increased. I mean, when he dashes at you, he covers half the stage already, so it's kind of hard to get out of the way, and you'll probably almost always get hit by it unless you're just super prepared in advance. So it has a pinch of difficulty, but it's a lot of fun still trying to get that belt buckle off. Number 11, Agent 3. At the end of Octo Expansion, you'll find that you'll fight yourself, well, your past self from the past game, Agent 3. And it's actually a lot of fun because this is the first time you're actually fighting another Inkling. You fought Octolings before, but this is like your Inkling, man. It's kind of like a 1v1. This is the end of the game. Let's fight this guy because he's corrupted. We've got to take him down. And he fights like a real Inkling would, almost like an online battle. He's not extremely hard yet because there is another battle that we'll get to later. But he is a lot of fun to battle because he'll go up into a platform and start shooting you from above. Then you can throw splat bombs up there in order to blow him up and stuff, and it's just a really fun battle before the last boss fight. Number 10, the Ravenous Octomom. This is a giant fish with metal teeth that you have to break in order to throw a bomb into his mouth. I think the whole process of this is really cool, and the whole design of this boss is a lot of fun. It'll start swimming towards you and put all of his teeth around you in a circle. You have to break free, jump out, and then he'll come out of the ink with all of his teeth. You know, the first phase is really easy, but then when you get to the gold teeth at the third phase, you have to shoot him for a while, and it's just really satisfying to shoot the teeth and break them. Also, if you take a while, he'll go back to the spawn and wait, or he'll also shoot out his teeth like rockets to come after you. It's a lot of fun, and then it requires a different process. After throwing the bomb in his mouth, then you go to hit the tentacle. It's not just climb up the tower and hit the tentacle. Number 9, Octo Shower Supreme. I love the Octo Shower, but I felt like giving you just a jetpack kind of diminished the whole fight entirely, because you have all these different platforms to climb up on and jump off of and try to shoot the Octarians on top of his head, and it's really hard to do so because you've got a jetpack, so all you're doing is just flying around like Mario Sunshine hover-wise and just shooting into the air, and it's really not that fun. It's not incredibly hard either. It just feels like a lesser version of the original battle to me. Number 8, Octo Samurai. Now this is the better version, the original. If you look at this Octarian, he's on this little unicycle with a giant roller. But what's so cool is the roller kind of takes 2 parts as not only a weapon, but also part of a motorcycle where he'll get a seat and just ride it towards you and try to kill you and run you over with it, which is a lot of fun and it's very unique. I like the way he can change the shifts and forms of the roller and shoot different projectiles, whether it's horizontal or vertical, and it just has a lot of value. You can swing it around him to try to hit you with it, and it's a lot of fun. You know, you can try to jump over the roller, get past it, kind of dodge and weave, serpentine your way to him, and take him out. He's kind of like a battle because when he dies, his little spirit goes back into the roller, and he kind of revives himself, which is a lot of fun. Number 7, Octobot King 2. Now, what? Splatoon 2's final boss is only number 7? Well, yes, because it repeats exactly the same things that the first game's final boss did, and it really doesn't change up much from that. I mean, now you're on a static platform, not moving whatsoever, and his attacks are incredibly slow and very, very easy to dodge, and you really shouldn't get hit at all. It's a lot easier than the first game's final boss. So it's really basic. Callie doesn't do much but just sing on top, and DJ Octavio just shoots out some pretty slow projectiles such as bombs, sucker bombs, and just lots of bombs. Okay, he loves bombs. But then the phase 2, you get on a rail and just literally push the A button to jump and then shoot his fist. It's nothing difficult. It's literally the same battle, and they could have done a lot more with it. Number 6, Octo Stop Redux. Now this is the last time we see this guy, but man did he crank up the intensity in the Octo Expansion. So instead of a belt buckle, he gets this weird electronical chip on his face that you have to shoot, but it doesn't change much. He still has the turret guy on top of his head, which is really cool by the way, and also his dash attack and many other attacks along with it. But what the thing is here is this time he opens his 3 faces and you have to shoot all the buckles on each face instead of just the one, which is incredibly difficult. Shooting all these chips on all 3 of his faces is really hard to get to because he's always constantly moving and trying to attack you, and he attacks a lot faster. So this is a very difficult boss battle in Splatoon, and it definitely makes you have to really pay attention to what's going on at all times. Number 5, Octo Oven XXL. This time, it's really tough because you know why? The bread is like cinnamon swirl bread. Look at that. That looks tasty. Anyways, okay, it got enemies on top of its head, and it starts shooting from above. And there's different types of enemies. There's turret gunners, there's snipers, and they will really distract you because, trust me, they are annoying. And sometimes he will put splat walls at the top of the tower, so you'll have to break those down before you even get up there. And when you get up there, they will barrage you, man. It'll be like a whole army of Octarians trying to take you down, and it can be very difficult. This thing is moving extremely fast now, and it just cranks up the intensity. I think it is one of the most fun to fight, but also one of the most tedious and difficult to take down. Number 4, Agent 3 Special Fight. Now, at the very end of the game, you can go to the locker in the Deep Sea Metro Station, and it'll take you to a flashback of a battle between your new Octo Agent and Agent 3. And it is a battle, I'm telling you, man. The computer is cranked up as hard as it could be. I can't tell you how many times it took me to beat this guy the first time. It knows your exact moves. His gun shoots further than yours, and he's a lot quicker with more special abilities. I'm a simple guy, let me tell you. When you finish a boss battle and you feel a sense of completion, you know it's a great boss. And man, was I so happy when I finally beat this guy. He is extremely difficult, and Nintendo definitely didn't let up with this secret boss battle. Number 3, Octo Shower. I absolutely love the Octo Shower from Splatoon 2, and it was just so much fun and a lot better than the Octo Expansion version where you were tied to a jetpack. In this version, you had many different weapons to choose from, but my favorite was definitely the charge shot, which is like a sniper rifle where you could definitely practice your aim at the Octarians holding above the Octo Shower. So what this does is the Octarians move the Octo Shower around as the Octo Shower itself uses different weapons. It uses almost all the weapons and power-ups and specials that the Inkling has, which makes it a lot of fun. He has a shower, he has almost like a splat Gatling gun, and he has a lot of different options and tools at his disposal. Even the Stingray is an available option. He just has so many tools, and he feels like a really good, well-rounded boss, and I really did like this boss battle. Number 2, Commander Tartar. This boss battle wasn't anything super out of the ordinary when it came to fighting the giant statue, but the atmosphere and the music and everything that it held in this boss battle was so great. You could see the city skyline below. You finally got out from underneath the ground and you had to fight this giant statue because it's going to wipe out the entirety of the Inkopolis and Inkopolis Square, everything Inkling. So you have to defend your hometown by taking this statue out, painting the entirety of the statue with splat bombs, and also watching Pearl shoot that giant wave at the statue and break it and bust it and see Tartar just kind of disintegrate. It has a cool story end, and it was a perfect ending to an awesome DLC expansion pack. Number 1, DJ Octavio. This boss battle was the very end of Splatoon 1, and it did it the best. It was incredibly long, and it followed you going through this obstacle course while also dodging all of DJ Octavio's attacks and his Octarian army. This was so much fun, and it was just a constant battle, and the first time, you never knew when it was going to end, but you never wanted it to end. It felt like it was so good, and as you shot his fist back, this was the first time you experienced anything like this, and it's not like a Splatoon 2 final boss situation. You're constantly moving, and you're not in one static area, and you're dodging so many things on these tight little platforms, and sometimes it's incredibly difficult to get out of the way of everything while also shooting back the giant bomb that he shoots at you. And then shooting back DJ Octavio at the very end to splash him and end the game is something that's very satisfying. And the music, the intensity, when Callie and Marie come in and play their song, everything just hypes up and feels so good. This boss battle is definitely the best and cannot be beat. And this is my list for the top 17 boss battles from Splatoon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you guys have any other comments or anything to talk about regarding this list, let me know in the comments down below. This was my personal list, so it was my opinion. You guys could believe whatever other boss that you thought was better. It's all opinion based here. I just really felt that DJ Octavio was number 1 and he held the most value out of everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like always, if you enjoy the video, feel free to like it and subscribe if you guys are new. It helps me out a lot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.